privileged to have you with us today. And I know that your schedule this time in Taiwan is very intensive. So I would like to start our interview today with a question regarding what brings you and your esteemed firm to Taiwan.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, for the time with me today. Well, this week is a very important week,
yes.
A very momentous week at Integris. We are doing the grand opening of our latest manufacturing site in Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan. This will be the largest, the most advanced manufacturing site for Integris in the world. So this is really the conclusion of 2 works of extensive work by the team, completing a project of about $500 million, which is the largest investment we have ever made on a manufacturing side. So obviously very important, very exciting for us.
Yeah, sure. Let me make a brief introduction to my audience in Taiwan regarding Integris. We know that Integris has been a giant in the semiconductor and also special chemical industry, and also a very, very important supplier to TSMC. And now Integris' largest and most advanced global plant is located in Taiwan. So it would be great if the President, Mr. Lloyd, could share with us what advantages do you see in Taiwan?
Well, our mission at Integris is to enable the technology roadmaps of our customers. And to do that, we intensely focus on innovation, the speed of innovation, and we intensely focus on manufacturing excellence. So in Taiwan, we've had, for a long time now, one of our most advanced technology centers, but we needed to expand the manufacturing capacity that we had in Taiwan. So this project is really doing this and will put us in a perfect position to support our customers and their ecosystem here in Taiwan as they continue to advance their technology. And so for us it was a very logical decision to invest in Taiwan. Taiwan is representing about 25% of the global semiconductor revenues.
Wow.
Of course, as you well know, in the foundry segment, Taiwan represents 65%
yes.
Market share in the world. So again, it was a very logical decision for us to invest here in Taiwan and to strengthen the relation that we've been building with the major players here on the island.
I read from the newspaper many reports that Integris wanted to invest maybe $500 million US in Taiwan to build this plant. And we know that from 2022 to 2025, the global semiconductor industry will enter a wave of expansion for the chip factories. And once these factories are completed and put into production, then the demand for materials will be enormous. And you serve as the chairman of the board of director of SEMI. I recognize that you from your title. So how do you view the development of the future semiconductor market, and what role do you think Taiwan could play on it?
Well, the semiconductor industry is a very exciting place to be. It took 40 years for the industry to reach $500 billion in revenue.
Yes.
It will take less than a decade to reach $1 trillion. So in other words, less than 10 years to double in size. And for that, we will need globally a lot more capacity than we have today. So you should expect a lot of investments across a number of different markets to be ready for this surge in demand for semiconductors that we expect as we see greater adoption of new applications like AI, autonomous driving, and many other use cases for semiconductors. So Integris is obviously a very critical supplier, a very critical partner to the semiconductor industry. We needed to do our piece, and that's one of the major investments we will be doing as a company over the next 10 years to be ready for that surge in demand.
Good. Since the Integris plant in Kaohsiung is the world's largest, and so it is believed that Integris has also recognized the rapid growth of the semiconductor production process in Asia in the future. So what role does Integris hope to play in the semiconductor industry supply chain, especially in Asia in the future? And what kind of strengths can it bring to the development of Taiwan semiconductor industry?
So if you think about the semiconductor industry and you think about our customers, our fab customers, what they are trying to do is to advance the performance of their chips. And to do that, they have many different ways to achieve this goal, but two primary ways would be the adoption of new materials with better electrical properties.
Yes.
That's one way. The other way that they're trying to improve the performance of their chips is by making everything smaller. If you think about what we do at Integris, we have two core capabilities. We are a leader in material science, so we develop those new materials that will be key to the next generation chips performance. And we are the leader in contamination control. In other words, we actually help achieve atomic level purity for all of the materials and chemistries that are used in the semiconductor manufacturing process. So our two core capabilities, material science and materials purity, are going to be increasingly important to the success of the semiconductor technology leaders. And that's what we will contribute here in Taiwan. We will be enabling the continued success, the continued growth of the semiconductor industry here in Taiwan.
Yeah, good. Integris has a global presence and has been operating in Taiwan for the past 30 years. I checked with the many reports. Yeah, the value created by the global talent working for Integris is so very evident. So therefore, may I ask the President, how do you feel about the quality and cooperation of technical talents in Taiwan? And in terms of international competitiveness, which aspects of Taiwan's talents do you think are the most promising?
We love the quality of the workforce here in Taiwan. You have some of the best universities, some of the best scientists and engineers when it comes to semiconductor technology. And you know, a lot of people think about investments in terms of buildings, in terms of equipment. I also like to think about investing in people, and that's really what we are doing here in Taiwan. We already have 700 employees here in Taiwan.
Wow, that many.
I would expect another several hundreds of employees in conjunction with ramping production in Kaohsiung. And again, it's really about capitalizing on this very vibrant, young, energetic workforce that we have here in Taiwan.
Okay, good. That's already what's happening here in Taiwan. But there is a very interesting news story that I would like to share with the President and ask about your opinion on. Currently, the South Korean government recently tried to partner with their tech giants such as Samsung or the SK Hynix to build the world's largest semiconductor cluster in Yongjin City, Gyeonggi-do, as model after Taiwan's Hsinchu Science Park. So what inspiration do you think the Taiwanese model can offer to the world for the semiconductor industry? And your company has been here, part of this cluster in Taiwan for a very long time now. So what do you think is the most attractive aspect and biggest competitiveness and also advantage for the Taiwanese, talents here?
Well, a lot of nations around the world are starting to realize the importance of semiconductors and semiconductor manufacturing. And many nations will try to replicate the model that exists here in Taiwan. But it's going to be hard. If you think about semiconductor manufacturing, it sounds simple. It's about patterning the wafer, depositing materials, you polish them, you etch them, you clean them, and then you repeat the cycle. Sounds simple. It's like golf. You have a ball, you have a stick, you hit the ball, and you try to put it in a hole. That sounds very simple, but I'm not a golfer, and I know how hard it is and how frustrating it is. And I think that a lot of nations will actually find that. I mean, I think that what is happening here in Taiwan is very special. You have a collective effort with a single purpose. And that shared purpose is the result of 30 years of collaboration across an expanded ecosystem. I think that's what Korea is trying to emulate. That's what many other countries will be trying to emulate. I think some may be successful, but I guess many will find it very, very hard to do.
Yeah. Now comes a very crucial question. Okay, we know that semiconductor industry is a high energy, high water consumption, and also very high carbon emission industry. And now today, we know that climate change is, so unpredictable. Now Taiwanese government also place very great emphasis on the environmental sustainability and achieving net zero carbon emissions. So therefore, I would like to know what environmental measures that Entegris has taken for its new plant.
So you're right, the semiconductor industry is consuming a lot of energy, water, and other resources, and we have an obligation as an industry to be a responsible operator of our businesses. And at Entegris, we take that responsibility very seriously. We have a very aggressive, a very ambitious series of sustainability objectives that are part of our corporate social responsibility program. And the plant that we're building here in Kaohsiung has been designed to actually operate consistent with those long-term objectives. So for instance, 85% of the water that we will be using daily for production will be recycled. By next year, close to 20%, 16% exactly, of the power used for production will come from solar panels that we have installed on the roof. And by 2030, I would expect that 100% of the energy consumed in Kaohsiung will be coming from renewable energies. So again, there are many different facts I could share with you, but needless to say that Entegris is very committed to have one of the best sustainability agenda in the industry. It is our responsibility. That's a responsibility that we take very seriously, and we are proud of the way we will be running our operations here in Taiwan.
Very, very good. My last question today is an extra question. I would like to know your view that recent warfare in Ukraine and Russia brings what challenge or opportunity to Entegris in the whole semiconductor industry. What's your comment on that?
Well, the semiconductor industry has been extremely agile. I mean, we are used to dealing with constant change. So I would say that of all of the industries around the world, I think that we are probably one of the industries that have fared the most effectively with the Russia and Ukraine crisis. I think most of us had suppliers that were based in those two countries, but we were able to rapidly identify alternatives and work with our customers to qualify those alternatives. So I would say that we were concerned, but today most of those concerns are in the rearview mirror, and now we can really focus on the future. We can focus on the next phase of growth and learn from all of those lessons, building additional resiliencies in our supply chains. And that's actually something that we took very seriously in the context of Kaohsiung as well. We are actively qualifying local suppliers for our specialty gases and for most of the chemicals that we will be using here in Kaohsiung, so that we can provide not just local capacity for our Taiwanese customers, but we can also rely on a local cluster of suppliers.
Good. I hear your point. Your keyword is working with your customers.
Indeed.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Loy, for your time and precious opinion and views. And we'd like to see Integrates grows bigger and bigger and brings prosperity to Taiwan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca.